Hello, you're very welcome to the Filum Show. I'm Mike Sheridan. That's new haircut Brian Lloyd. Less like a microphone, more like a microphone without the wind thing on the microphone.
Yeah.
Thought something was different.
That's Deirdre Malumbi. Welcome back, Dee.
Back.
Although
Yeah.
you did make an appearance in last week's show as a hologram again.
I saw that.
I didn't even know that was
Shout out to
happening.
Charlotte Reid in production.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was happening.
Well, you would, because she doesn't post.
I know, I'm
It's
just
not-
saying.
It's not in camera effects.
I know that.
I kind of like the idea of watching you.
Yeah, it was very like I was like on my phone and you just like appeared and it was weird.
Yeah.
When I
Can
watched
we get a
that
hologram of Dee handing Brian a poster, because I feel like that's what she spends.
I haven't done that in the show, though.
And you two, by the way, I'm sitting kind of between you. I'm sitting next to Brian and Dee's behind me, and just just sit next to each other. The pencils thrown at each other. You both have headphones in. It's very frustrating. It's very frustrating because I'm constantly going, Brian.
Do you want to do that then? Do you want
to
after this? Do you want to move desks? That might not be a bad
desks.
idea.
There's a process we need to follow.
And I have to move my laptop and everything. He works off his own laptop. Mine's all stuck into things.
Yeah, Dee has she has her desk very well decorated. It's
Yeah.
like it's frantic but neat.
Yeah.
Frantic but there's a lot going on in that desk, Deirdre. But it's all, you know.
Have you ever seen
Thanks,
her really freakish what do you call it? Post-it notes. She's like writes like about 100, like literally 100 things on the one small little.
Like she's trying like you're trying to track a serial killer. And
Yeah.
put it all
Yeah,
together.
I just feel like somebody should have like strings going out.
He's like
from it.
Mulder in the X-Files. Like,
Yeah.
how can I?
I've blown it right. I've blown it all wide open.
There's a pattern. I know there's a pattern.
Yeah. Crazy.
So, Dee, you had seen most of the movies we were going to review last week because we did the show quite early, and it's the want for the film industry, which I'm convinced is genuinely just out to get us.
Yeah.
A lot of news broke after we recorded the show, like Harry Fuenagua taking over the Bond movie. All of that stuff. So we can get into. I know you've got movie news. We're going to get into a little later on. So we're going to review two big movies that we missed last week. One that myself and Brian have seen, and one that you've seen, which is a Lenny Abrahamson movie with Donald Gleeson. Before we do, Brian, I went to see a Simple Favour last night.
Yeah.
And you were a huge fan of this.
I really enjoyed it.
You were quite surprised.
Yeah.
About how much you enjoyed it. It's Blake Lively, Anna Kendrick, directed by Paul Feig, who's known really for comedy. And there are comedic moments in this, but it's not to put words in your mouth, Brian Lloyd. But Gone Girl by way of Big Little Lies.
Yeah, you were saying that. I think it's a little bit more. I don't know if it'd go so far as to say Gone Girl.
Well, I would, Brian.
Okay, well,
I just did.
I know you did. I'm just saying I personally wouldn't put it that far. But no, yeah, I mean it's a very interesting take on noir, and very interesting take on the mystery thriller genre.
Noir. That's a great word.
Noir.
Oh, that's what you were saying. You were saying it so weirdly. I was
saying
like,
war.
what word? Yeah, I heard war as well. It's noir.
Noir. That's what I said.
Yeah, you
noir.
weren't really saying the or, so it sounded like war.
Noir. It's noir. See, it's noir. Anyways, it was a really interesting take on it. Blake Lively plays this just absolute glamorous, beautiful woman who has a young child who befriends Anna Kendrick, who's this kind of fuddy-duddy vlogger.
She's a mummy blogger.
Mummy blogger.
Mummy vlogger.
Whatever. I don't. Mummy vlogger? How do you pronounce it? Whatever.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Is that how you pronounce it? Anyways, yeah. Strike up a unusual relationship between the two of them that basically involves them drinking a lot of gin. Aviation gin.
Oh, that was hilarious.
Which just so happens to be owned by Ryan Reynolds. And I swear to God, I know we talk about product placement quite a bit.
Hang on a second while I take a drink from my Lucasade Zero.
You got in shot? Is that in camera, in focus? Yeah. Literally so much of the movie is based around them drinking gin. And it's aviation gin. Now, if you don't know, aviation gin is owned by Ryan Reynolds, and Ryan Reynolds is married to Blake Lively. So this movie is basically one very long, continuous ad for aviation gin.
That's extreme. That's extreme. I mean,
it's very full on.
Fairness, there are a lot of friendships based around cocktails. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It's true, but it just so happens to be this particular gin that just so happens.
Do you know what? It's such a distinctive bottle as well.
You cannot notice it.
It's always facing the camera, like it's Bond-esque, the product placement of this, but
crazy.
it's just the same thing. And I'm convinced there's something with watches as well, because all the watches are quite. I always notice watches on people, and all the watches are quite similar. Well, I did notice that, and that is very funny.
Yeah, it was very notable.
I'm just going to take a bottle of aviation gin from the fridge.
Yeah, and it's just who actually carries a bottle of gin with the thing facing? It's very. But not to detract from it.
Who carries a bottle of gin a certain way?
Well, like, I mean, you normally carry it, like, from the base. Like, they literally carry it so that you can get the logo in. Like, it was very obvious, I thought. But, no, I mean, that not to detract from it. Like, it's still a very well-made, very competently written, very funny. Like, it was hilarious in parts, like, how they did it. Like, and even just Blake Lively, the fact that she was kind of playing up the fact that she looks incredible in, like, all their suits and all that kind of thing. Like, they really kind of played to that.
She kind of looks like a lord in the 1700s.
I don't know what it is. Yeah, it's just
her Instagram is actual goals. Like the outfits that she wears. Like,
is she good? Is she good for the outfits now? Because me and Brian are we wouldn't have a clue.
She's such an incredible dresser. Yeah, and you can see. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. You can see like, because I follow them both. You can see like Anna Kendrick trying so hard to be as cool as Blake Lively and to dress as well as her. And she's doing okay, but like, you know, Blake Lively, you could basically put anything on her.
Yeah,
and
black
she would
sack
make
on
it
her,
look
and
fab.
she'd make it look incredible. Yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, like, it's very stylish. Like, it is very, very stylish, and the way that it's kind of done. The plot, you know, yeah, I see where you were going.
It's I don't know how you're not getting Gone Girl.
I know. I get Gone Girl. I get the Gone Girl.
There's one scene in particular that's Gone Girl. So,
but it's lighter. I think it's lighter than Gone
the
Girl.
tone is definitely lighter. But Gone Girl had moments of levity as well.
It did, yeah, but they were few and far between. Like, I mean, Gone Girl was
Ben Affleck going, what the Jesus? And then you see his Willie.
Yeah, and then like the bit with the shower where she like slits Barney Stinson's throat. Like, I mean, that's not funny.
That's not sound.
That's not sound at all. And like, that's what I'm saying. Like, Simple Favour doesn't have any of those moments, but like the screening I was at, like, people were roaring, laughing at different points in the movie, and like roaring at the points where it was like, this is so obvious what's going on here. Do you know? Like, anyway, the twists were, I don't want to say signposted, but they were so kind of like, oh, of course it's that. Yeah. You know, that kind of way. And it played with it. It played with the conventions. It knew that you've seen this story 1,000 times before.
It's a gorgeous film. Everything from the production design to actually Rupert Friend is a friend that you pronounce? Friend. I just didn't think it was that obvious. I thought there was more of a nuance to that. He was very funny. He's only got a couple of scenes in it, and Anna Kendrick calls him a knockoff Tom Ford or something. Yeah. Poor man's Tom Ford. And he is brilliant. And I'd like to see him do more comedy stuff because he was very, very good. Blake Lively and Anna Kendrick are both great.
They've really got a snare.
You can see why they're doing all their press together, and they bounce off each other incredibly well. I would say they know each other a long time. Ryan Reynolds made a movie with Anna Kendrick years ago.
Yeah.
They're the pluses for me. I really like I think Paul Feig has a real panache and a real command of not just comedy but of the screen and how and how shots should look. I think where comedies in particular, they're very easy to dismiss aesthetically. You know, and Todd Phillips, I think I know for the Reeves, we're going to talk about one of his films later on, shoots a gorgeous film too. It just came apart a little. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah.
It just came apart a little in the last 10 minutes where it wasn't so much obvious and it wasn't so much.
Don't give it away.
I'm not giving anything away. I'm not giving anything away. And look, you know, there's a twist with a movie like that, or there are twists with a movie like this, but it just didn't have that. It wasn't as smart as I thought it was going to be. And there's one almost subplot that was just weird.
Yeah.
It's very weird. And when you see the film, and you should see the film, it's good fun. But when you hear it, you're like, ugh. Yeah, right, okay. This is. Yeah. I mean, maybe that's part of what makes it different.
I think that's, I mean, not necessarily that subplot you're talking about, but I think the fact that, you know, like, if you were to see the book, I mean, if you actually look at the original kind of book cover, it looks like one of these ridiculous airport novels, you know, that kind of way, the ones that you
pulpy.
Exactly, pulpy, yeah. So I think that ending that you're talking about and that subplot that you're talking about, that's quite common in those kind of really borderline, almost
Mills and
Boone-esque, yeah. So, like, there's not a whole lot you can go with it, like, and especially with the ending, you can't really go anywhere but to that point, like, you know what I mean? I think they've kind of written themselves into a corner, but it didn't bother me. Like, I was enjoying it so much that I was like, yeah, of course it's going to end up like this. And when it ends, it was like, that was great. I enjoyed that. Like, it was very entertaining. Like, I was never not entertained by it.
Yeah, I mean, to see Blake Lively be, you know, very much a movie star role. Bless you, Deirdre.
Excuse me.
This is the first sneeze we've had in the show. How many episodes are we in? 35 episodes in the first sneeze.
Well, I do have a cold.
Oh, well. Anyway, it's good fun. Enjoyed it a lot. I probably would have went 3.5, but
I give 4. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. And look, I think there's a lot out in the cinema at the moment. We talked about how much I disliked the Predator last week. So, you know, given everything that's out and stuff I've missed, I still wanted to see that.
Yeah.
Okay, you know, unwell, Deirdre Malumbi, unwell. Although you're still sprightly. You're always still sprightly.
I think I was at the worst. I kind of peaked at the weekend, so I've been recovering since then.
Have you? Well, you were away last week.
Yeah.
And another holiday jetting around the place.
That's actually how I got sick. It was from the AC while I was abroad. It's like you can't have it all.
Could you get like Legionnaire's disease? Like I heard you can get that from AC. Is that what you had?
I don't know. I always seem to get a cold whenever.
That's a thing. That's really a thing.
Something that went around the 1800s, or
no? Legionnaire's disease is a thing that you can get from like air conditioning or something like that. It's kind of like.
I think it's just a cold.
Okay, grand. All right, whatever. Fine.
Maybe you have the plague.
That's the bubonic plague. Okay. And maybe.
But we've got a lot of interviews that are going to be coming up on the site, or that when this goes out will be up on the site. So next week you've got Rowan Atkinson. I know you're a big fan of him and you really wanted to do that.
Yeah.
And for this movie we're going to talk about now, you had Lenny Abrahamson and Donald Gleeson.
You
and Donald are all pals at this stage. He's like
ripping the piss out of me and everything. It's great crack.
Yeah. Like, oh, you Donald.
You Donald. You and your mustache.
I actually also have an interview with Ruth Wilson on our On the Line podcast series. So make sure to check that out. Look up Ruth Wilson On the Line wherever you get podcasts.
I see what we did.
Nice little dig there.
Okay, for Lenny Abrahamson, this was I felt like I haven't seen it, but on the surface at least it feels like a strange choice for him to make coming off the back of an Oscar nomination. Well, I don't know why.
Well, I actually asked him about that in the interview, incidentally, and what he said was, look, I suppose after the Oscars, you know, there is all this stress that comes with you, like you got an Oscar nomination and everything, but what he decided to do was he had always planned to do The Little Stranger next. He'd actually been planning to do it for years, and he thought...
With Donald Gleeson?
Well, he'd wanted to do a movie with Donald Gleeson again since Frank.
Yeah.
And it was apparently it was Michael Fassbender who was saying, you guys should definitely do another film together. Like, this just works, you know?
I don't want any part. You go for it.
Yeah, just hide my face again. But no, I think that was coincidental. But what he said was after Room, he decided, you know what, I'm just going to stick to what my plan was instead of like kind of letting all the stress or the ego or whatever like get to me. So I think that's, you know, very admirable and everything.
And it's, I mean, ostensibly at least it's a haunted house movie. But what I'm hearing is it doesn't get very haunted-y until the last bit.
It's more kind of like, I would describe it more as a psychological drama with horror or like haunted house or ghost story elements. But I wouldn't call it a horror in itself.
It's funny because I read that Lenny Abrahamson actually said that the promotion for it kind of worked against it because people were going into it thinking it was going to be a horror.
It's not really a horror.
No.
I wouldn't describe it as that. Like, there are kind of a few jump scares, but not even really. Like, it's not that kind of movie.
You didn't go full genre?
No. But like he never does.
Yeah.
Like, if you look at all of his works, like even his comedies have elements of tragedy in them. Like I don't think he really likes genre filmmaking.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean in terms of it being a strange choice, or maybe it is the marketing. That because the marketing is, I mean, you know, be it on purpose or not, it's been. Like I suppose maybe because The Nun is doing so well, which is overt horror, or at least in that, you know, stratosphere, whatever. Is it any good, Deirdre?
I really, really enjoyed it.
Is that just because you're friends with Donald?
No,
it's not. Is it
because
he's your pal? Like, you and Donald are mates? Like,
no, I really, really
You've
like
all got
this
one
film.
ginger pal. Yours is Donald Gleeson.
I just felt that, like, watching this film, I got kind of totally like lost in like the ambience, and it's like so intense from like start to finish, and there are all these twists and turns, and you never know what's going to happen next. Like, it really has you on the edge of your seat. And then the acting in it is brilliant, even better than Donald Gleeson. I would say the one who steals the show is actually Ruth Wilson.
She's a great actor.
Incredible
Luther,
at this.
she's awesome in Luther.
Yeah.
She's terrifying and kind of it's weird.
And I mean, similarly with the storyline, like with the way Gleeson and Wilson's characters go, is they're always kind of changing, and you never quite know like what it is they want.
She's a spinster or something. Back in the day, that's what they called spinsters.
Yeah, essentially, exactly. Yeah. Like, she's grown up and she like never got married, and then Donald Gleeson's character kind of starts to court her or whatever, you know.
Court her.
That's what you call it.
Court
That's what you call it.
Is that what you still call it?
No.
Is it?
We're talking olden days here.
Hi, father. I'm going to go out and court my boyfriend. Wait, what?
No, I would never say that.
No.
He would say they're courting.
Okay. Well, you would have said they
or
were
necking. Remember that?
Necking.
Oh God, yeah.
Will you score me, mate?
Yeah, will you shift him? Will you?
I really enjoyed the interview, and I will get to this at some point. I think it's going to be one of those as well. I think we'll be in the Lighthouse for a while because it's an Element movie, Element on the Lighthouse, and it makes sense for them to do as they did with Dublin Old School, and they kind of keep it in there for a while.
Legs,
give it people a proper chance to get to it because we're coming to that point in the year where all the prestige films and stuff are going to start to land. This one isn't probably going to get award recognition for anybody. Probably not. Although it hasn't opened in the US yet.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But reviews have been
good.
It's
hard. Yeah. I mean, it's hard to know because there's just been so much big talk about the likes of, A Star Is Born and First Man and Bohemian Rhapsody and these kind of ones that it's hard to tell. I'd probably be worried that it would get a bit lost in award season. Maybe for like technical stuff, because I mean the costume design and the cinematography are really, really stunning. So I'd love for it to at least get recognised for those kind of awards, but I'm not sure about any others. We'll have to
Are we going to have any Irish at the old Oscars this year? Do you think anybody outside of the technical stuff?
I don't.
Who's our best
so.
chance?
Probably would have been The Little Stranger.
Yeah,
because I'm just thinking like.
Saoirse doesn't have anything coming out negatives.
Well, Saoirse
like I'm friends with her.
Saoirse
was saying she's not.
Well, Mary Queen of Scots, isn't that due out in the next couple of weeks? Isn't it?
Oh
yeah, is that Irish?
That's right. Well, look, she's Irish.
Oh right, so
she's Irish. We're claiming her.
Is that? I actually think that's been pushed out to 2019 for us. I think
but I mean,
yeah.
it'll be in that kind of discussion.
Oh yeah, well,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like for Best Actress, I would think.
Yeah,
but like. I mean, if all the reviews if I'm reading are correct about A Star Is Born, Lady Gaga has this locked up for Best Actress.
Yeah, you never know.
You never know. Like you never know. But
well, I'll see it this week, so I can let you guys know.
There you go.
Ooh, when's that out?
Next week.
How blank Brian's face looks. You don't realize
I literally told you this.
You
10
did.
minutes
You
ago.
did tell me that. You did tell me.
You just had this like look at your face, and you're like,
yeah, I knew it was like next week or the week after. Okay, don't be at me. All right, don't at me. Okay. But yeah, no, I would think. Yeah.
Remember, we looked it up because I said, "Oh, I think A Star Is Born is out next week," and you were like, "No, I don't think it's out that soon." And then I looked it up and I was like, "No, it is out next week," and you were like, "Oh, right."
So you fact checked Brian.
I did.
Is Don't At Me the new Talk to the Hand?
Kind of, yeah, I think so. I'm not really sure. But
Talk to the Hand sounds so 90s now.
It is, doesn't it? Yeah. I remember they made a joke about that in Terminator 3. Where like Arnold Schwarzenegger goes, talk to the hand, and like he tries to talk into the hand.
Such a bad movie.
Terrible. No, but I would think our best hope in the Oscars would be Saoirse Ronan, for Mary Queen of Scots. I would think.
Yeah.
I mean, you never know. Like Little Stranger might surprise.
Yeah.
Like it might have a really good run in the US audiences and what have you.
Yeah.
It's hard to say. I mean, yeah, I would think Saoirse Ronan would for Best Actress could possibly do it.
Okay, let's see what's happening with the old movie news. What's going on in the movie world? Brian kind of leaned in for a second, like he was going to have a bit of a bop, and then he changed his mind half lean, and just basically just went. That was it.
I was just kind of leaned in. I was like,
That got weird very quickly. Anyway, Deirdre Mullen, what's going on?
Mel Gibson is writing and directing a remake of The Wild Bunch. So apparently there have been numerous attempts of this on Warner Brothers' part over the years, all of which have failed. Mel Gibson is also signed on to direct Destroyer, which is a World War II naval epic that will star Mark Wahlberg in the lead role, and the long-awaited follow-up to The Passion of the Christ. So, yeah,
starring Jesus.
So very busy
Box
is
office,
our Mel Gibson.
It's all about the box office. Do you remember that Family Guy joke? It was like Passion of the Christ.
Oh my God! I imagine if he actually make that.
It was brilliant. It was such a good bit.
Yeah.
Wasn't he? He was been touted to direct Suicide Squad too, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was apparently in the discussion.
What mad films can we have? Mad Mel Gibson.
To be fair, like if he were to direct Suicide Squad 2, I mean, Jesus, if he can't make that work, nobody can.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I just imagine Mel Gibson dealing with studios, like comic book type studios, where there's a couple of $100 million involved, and just
him.
I tell you, if he did Suicide Squad, now I haven't seen Hacksaw Ridge, but from what I've heard, it'd definitely be an R-rated sequel.
Oh yeah,
because that movie's like he's really into like his violent.
He's never made a
graphic stuff
PG.
at
Has
the
he made a
moment.
PG? Maybe his first movie. Has he made a PG-13?
I don't think he has.
Well, I mean,
Braveheart
like,
or
Braveheart was alright.
Actually, yeah, I think that all of his movies have been fairly.
and the Wild
bloody.
Bunch, I would say, is going to be.
Yeah, well,
Oh,
that.
definitely.
Sam
Sam
Peckinpah,
Peckinpah, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, when it came out and everything, it did have one of those rare. Oh, what were they called
X
at the
ratings.
time? X ratings, yeah, which is
Yeah.
the equivalent of like 18s for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's bold.
Yeah, and like the Wild Bunch is like it's a pretty violent film, like, and it's all about like these old cowboys who are like gonna basically go out on one last job kind of thing, and they're at the end of their lives. So it's the perfect kind of film for Mel Gibson to do it. But I think what's interesting is the fact that Warner Brothers obviously care enough about this to give it to him. So basically, what I'm saying is he's been completely rehabilitated in the eyes of the studios. Like,
I think all the other shit people have done, is given a lot of context there as well. Or not that that people we found out they've done has given the public context, I suppose.
Yeah, and the fact that he has been, I do think that Mel Gibson has, been contrite about what he's done. I think he has been he has admitted his fault, and he has tried to work towards. There's been reconciliation, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think there's particularly, careful decision making on his part when it comes to being in front of the camera.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of different when you're, kind of in people's faces. And I mean, the last movie we saw him in was Daddy's Home 2, and I don't think he's due to kind of do anything.
I interviewed him for that. Yeah. And that was, because he's Mel Gibson.
Of course.
Grew up watching his movies and just his giant beard, and he still had the beard.
Oh my gosh, yeah, his beard was very impressive, like Santa Claus.
But would you see him casting himself in this because it would fit?
I would.
No, I don't think he is into casting himself in his own movies anymore.
Yeah.
I would love to see him
When he
in
was
it,
too
though.
old for Jesus.
Yeah, God, yeah. I mean, and
But
like
as
Jim
well-
Caviezel, maybe get him back.
But I mean, the other thing is like the Wild Bunch would be such an intense, immense project. Like, would you want to have to go through the stress of acting in it as well?
You would do Braveheart.
Who would you get?
No.
For Wild Bunch?
Yeah.
Ooh. Well, I would definitely put Mel Gibson into the middle of it.
Yeah.
I would 100% put Mel Gibson into the middle of it.
Yeah, but then you have to adjust the rest of the cast kind of accordingly, don't you?
Oh, really?
So do you think this is going to be an ensemble?
Oh, it is.
Oh, yeah.
Like star-heavy cast.
Definitely, yeah.
I think it's an ensemble piece. Like,
Yeah.
I
So
think
what
you're-
Hollywood coffin dodgers would we put in this then?
That's what I'm saying. Adjusted around him, they would be coffin dodgers.
Well, you'd have to be old. Is that not the point?
Yeah, that's it. They've all got to be kind of like aging. And like,
Yeah,
I mean,
but there's old.
Cocoon the
and
Western.
There's like
Yeah.
middle-aged, and then there's like
ancient. Then
the
there's
other
like the
side of
Expendables where it's
middle-aged.
So
literally
like what?
OAPs.
Okay, let's go Hollywood OAPs. Clint Eastwood.
Oh no, he wouldn't do
He's
that.
deep into his 80s now.
He's
Yeah.
very
Jack Nicholson.
No, he would do it. He's retired.
Yeah.
Well, he came back for that one movie, but I don't think he'd come back for this.
Tony, well, he's out of Tony Erdmann now. He left that.
Oh
Apparently.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
he's out
true.
of that,
Actually, yeah.
I think if you're going to get somebody like this, okay, here's who I would get. I would get Bruce Willis. He'd be up.
No,
Why
no,
not?
He's too cynical now. He pisses me off, to be honest. It's like, just retire already, Bruce Willis. You have enough money.
True.
Stop doing movies and just being crabby and mean in them, and then like doing press junkets and just making everyone feel
All right.
sad.
Okay.
Just
Here's who
retire,
I'll get.
Bruce
Okay.
Willis.
Okay.
You tell him, Dave.
You've had your time.
Yeah.
All right, here's
you
who I'll
baldy
get.
shite bag.
Here's who I'll get. Okay,
Tell him,
here.
Dave.
Kevin Costner.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a good one, I think.
Okay.
I would get maybe somebody like William Hurt.
Do you think Robert Redford would do it?
Oh no, he wouldn't do it.
No?
No, he's too old.
Yeah, but he keeps saying, "I'm retired." No, I'm not retired. I'm retired. No, I'm not retired.
Wait, how is he too old?
Well, like I mean, like in
Michael
Wild Bunch-
Caine's still doing movie junkets.
No, I know that. He did one with him.
Yeah.
No, but I mean in the sense of like the Wild Bunch, like they were like 50 odd, like
Yeah.
that kind of way. And that was just because of
Do you know? So you're going to go 50 odds.
50
Do you
odd.
know, and we spoke about it last week. Fast becoming one of my favourite actors, Josh Brolin.
Oh God,
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
he's so
50s,
good.
50.
Okay, he has to
Yeah.
like headline this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Josh Brolin headlining the Wild Bunch with Mel Gibson directing.
Watched only the Brave again. Actually,
Have you seen it, Dee?
I haven't. No,
God.
I have to.
Unable.
I
Not
know,
able.
but at the same time, it looks so patriotic.
It's not.
It's not. No,
Not
I
at all.
will
you
say
said that about it.
it is very flag wavy. It is very kind
I
of.
didn't think it was.
In the
I
sense.
think I know we don't go too deep in this again because we
Yeah.
spoke about it last week and it was out a year ago. But
who cares?
I think the type of characters in this movie who are real life characters are the type of characters that would appear in flag wavy movies that are quite, for want of a better phrase, who are quite, middle American,
Yeah.
and those flyover states is what they call them. So the assumption would be, blue collar, Trump voters, whatever. The film doesn't go anywhere near any of that.
No, it
stuff.
doesn't. No, it doesn't touch on the politics at all. No, it doesn't
At all.
At all. But it's very. Like, there's a lot, you have to admit now, there are a couple of scenes in it where it's very, there's a bit in Only the Brave when they walk up this mountain and Josh Brolin, he's the leader of, the Prescott Mountain Hotshots, and he's like training these guys, and he's like, I want you to look out over this beautiful vista and drink it in, because this is the last time you'll be able to see it. After this, all you're going to see is fuel for the bitch.
Yeah,
he's doing his crazy quote thing
but
again.
I thought that was a really good line.
It's a really good line.
The trees are the fuel.
And that's it. And you know what, right? This is it, right? I watched it and I was like, oh my God, that's such a badass line. And then my girlfriend watched it and she was laughing her ass off at this. She was
your girlfriend told you what to think.
No, I'm just saying that she... and I feel like, D, you're saying the same here as well. That's a really cringy line, isn't it? Yeah, see, there you go. See, I think it's just...
it's just a few seconds ago you guys were really arm wavy, so I just lean back.
Sorry, D, just point at the obvious here, but you're not Josh Brolin.
I'm not Josh Brolin at all.
So don't take that line for how Brian delivered it. Imagine Josh Brolin.
D, just go watch this movie and then come back and then settle this.
Yeah. Okay, anyway.
No, we can't talk about it for a third week, guys.
So, we've decided Josh Brolin and Mel Gibson's remake of The Wild Bunch.
Oh, yeah, I'd watch
just
that.
Put that on entertainment.ie like it's happening, and let's watch it reverberate around the world.
Yes.
What else have you got there?
The Raid 3 is not happening. Sad face.
I'm disappointed with the second one.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Actually, I do. I remember not being mad about it either. It kind of went a bit weird for me or something.
Yeah.
It was going into kind of gangster movie territory. I think that the first is pretty much perfection, but yeah, I wasn't as into the second one as a lot of other people were.
His face.
Oh, he's so upset. Director Gareth Edwards said in an interview with Cinema Blend, I think enough time has passed now that I think I'm not likely to go back and revisit it. We had a lot.
That's your thing that you just do every week last minute. Anyway, go on.
We had a lot of fun making those films, and I think we came to a nice sort of natural conclusion with it.
In other words, I'm getting a Hollywood dollar now.
Well,
I'm rolling around in that Netflix money.
Yeah, yeah. I actually am hoping to see Apostle, his new horror movie, at some stage this week.
Oh yeah,
and possibly review it.
yeah.
It looks nuts.
It's a horror film.
Yeah.
We thought it might be action-y. It's not at all.
No, it's like a real Wicker Man kind of horror thing. God, I'm really looking forward to it.
I really like Dan Stevens too. He's deadly.
Yeah, he's brilliant. Yeah, and Michael Sheen as well. He's fantastic in it as well. Yeah, I'm more interested about The Raid is Joe Carnahan's possible American
Frank Grillo.
remake with Frank Grillo.
I love Frank Grillo.
Yeah, really want to see what happens with that.
Frank Grillo's a legitimate badass. Legitimate, knows how to fight, knows how to train. Badass. Yeah.
Well, he did that show that you were always going on about Kingdom.
Yeah. Well, my old pal Jonathan Tucker, me and Jonathan Tucker do DM each other. Yeah, on the old Twitter. I've got famous friends like me.
Just like
Dean,
Dean O'Donnell, and now you've got Jonathan Tucker. I need to get me a famous friend. But
Paul Rudd.
Yeah, true. Actually, I didn't
Don't
think of
mention the
that.
war. Paul Rudd. That was a one-sided friendship. I think Paul Rudd afterwards was like, I don't think he likes me.
No,
Yeah, that's so sad.
The hugging, it's the closeness. But yeah, no, I to be fair, I do get what Gareth Evans was going on about, because I think enough time has passed between that, and also as well the fact that Iko Uwais, he was in Mile 22,
Which I didn't get to talk about last week, and I was so upset. I didn't get to review it on this show, but I actually reviewed it on Spin 1038 on the weekend, and I just went on a rant about it, and Serena was hiding behind the microphone.
Serena hated it as well, didn't she?
Laughing. No, she didn't get to see it, but she just said that she loved my rant. And
Yeah.
apparently, and then the producer afterwards came in and she was like, "Yeah, I couldn't stop laughing when you were reviewing Mile 22."
terrible.
So yeah, it's so bad.
It's awful. But yeah, Iko Uwais is doing that kind of thing, and Gareth Evans, like I say, he's doing Apostle. So it just makes sense that they can't bring it all together. And plus, the second one, it was kind of running out of steam.
It was a little bloated.
It was bloated, and it was running out of steam.
First one's so simple. The concept's so simple.
Yeah, it was so perfect.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised that they're not making a third one. That said, would be cool to see it if they reconnect over something else. But yeah,
I want to see Gareth. I want to see him make some action movies.
Yeah, I really want to see what he'll do with a proper big budget.
Give him the Bourne franchise. Reboot it with him.
Ooh. Could be interesting. Maybe.
I don't know. I think the Bourne franchise is done. Jason Bourne.
They're doing a TV series.
Yeah, would you watch that though?
Yeah.
If it got good reviews.
All right.
Well, that's my general attitude with American TV shows because so many are made.
So many, isn't there now?
Yeah, that there's no point in investing in it unless I actually hear good things about it. So
Well,
that's my
you'll be able to
attitude.
hear about all the new TV shows with the telly show that's coming up in the next couple of months on entertainment.ie. Not an ad. I just wanted to plug it there. See how I'm, helping out our fellow colleagues.
Random, wasn't it? It was a bit random. I like your beard this week. It's very trimmed.
I got it trimmed the other
You
day.
actually,
thank God, because it was getting so pointy. You're
um,
looking like, I don't know, Rasputin from Russia or something.
They could do that
Like you were
weird.
kind of evil.
Yeah, that weird
like,
kind of weird like look
Yeah.
where he's like.
you aesthetically made an effort for once. You're not just wearing a fleece.
Yeah, well, like okay.
Look like a woodwork teacher in the 90s. Like you put a shirt on, got a haircut.
Do you know what it was though? I actually thought I had to do that thing that you were telling, the thing that you're now doing.
yeah.
I thought I had to do that tonight.
You had
That's
to
why I
do it
got all this
today,
done.
so yeah.
Yeah, that's why
You
I
look
did.
great though. What else you have, D?
Sorry. So obviously we've been hearing a lot about Todd Phillips' standalone Joker movie in recent weeks.
Yeah.
But not to be forgotten is the Joker and Harley Quinn movie that
let's
nobody
forget.
wants
Let's
to
forget
see.
about that. Let's just forget about that.
But it is happening. So Glenn Ficarra and John
Raqua.
I like those
Raqua?
guys.
They did movies like I Love You, Philip Morris, Crazy Stupid Love. They said they're writing and directing this spin-off and they've described it as something of a cross between Bad Santa and This Is Us, which the two actually worked on. They wrote Bad Santa and they directed episodes of This Is Us. They said the whole thing starts with Harley kidnapping Dr. Phil, played by Dr. Phil, hopefully, because her and the Joker are having problems with their relationship. We were doing a relationship movie, but with the sensibility of a bad Santa, effed up, mentally deranged people. They don't know when it's going to be released. They have submitted a script and they're hoping that as long as the Joker Origins movie goes okay, and then I think Birds of Prey is next, then if that goes well, hopefully their
That
movie next.
movie's
No,
never
never gonna happen.
That's never gonna
Never
happen.
gonna
Well, they have
Nobody
a
likes Jared Leto.
They
Nobody.
have a-
His own Ma's probably like, oh, just no.
Yeah.
Don't worry about Mother's Day. It's fine.
That's absolute.
Thanksgiving.
That movie is never gonna. I tell you, I will eat a hat if that movie. Warner Brothers.
Maybe
You
they'll
can
recast Joker. I mean,
Maybe.
people do love Margot Robbie as
Yeah.
Harley Quinn. Like she got a big kind of fan following, kind of social media explosion after Suicide Squad.
Yeah, she's awesome, and she was the best character in it by far.
Yeah.
But I don't think you need Jared Leto in there.
no.
I don't
Well,
think you need
like
that
I
at all.
said, they might do the movie based on the success of her playing that character. Maybe recast the Joker. Maybe.
Who-
Drag Queen Phoenix, a whacking Phoenix, Drag Queen.
Joaquin.
I can't.
Do you know?
pronounce.
I have a poll, like that we can actually talk about because we can't do the like Twitter thing where you like vote or on
yeah.
Instagram
Okay.
stories or whatever. Who is more unlikable? Not Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah.
Jonah Hill
All right.
or Jared Leto.
Oh, that's hard.
Have you seen Jonah Hill? I said this before. Have you seen Jonah Hill on Jimmy Kimmel? Up his own hole, that chap.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have
His
to
own
go
hole.
with Jonah Hill being a bit more annoying because I think Jared Leto gave such a good performance in Requiem for a Dream.
Yeah. Yeah, well, Jonah Hill's a really good actor as well.
Yeah,
I've just met him a few times. I don't like him.
Well, I haven't interviewed-
I think
yeah.
Jared Leto was I think he only really got the reputation for being a jerk after Suicide Squad, right?
Well,
I mean,
you
did he
send
have
people
it
to use
before that?
condoms in the post. That'll probably be.
That'll do
Yeah,
it. That's
whatever
enough
else,
to
whatever
kind of,
weird shit you did, little freak.
And it's like sending people dead rats as well.
Yeah.
Dead rats and condoms is never a way to win over people.
No,
Like, that's,
no,
you're
I
never
don't think
gonna
so. Or being in 30 Seconds to Mars.
Yeah, to be fair.
Actually, they have a couple of tunes too. Anyway, okay, what else do we have this week?
Whoa,
Dee?
no, they don't.
They do.
No, they don't.
Emo anthems.
No, they don't.
Our creative team would be into that. The guys out there that do some of the commercial stuff
yeah,
in the creative
they're
team. would be-
dumbasses. Okay.
Ooh, I thought they were your
They're-
friends.
No,
thought they were your pals.
that's if they like 30 Seconds to Mars, they're not my friends.
We're going to find out whether those chaps on that team listen to this podcast.
Yeah, actually, yeah, we'll
anyway.
see. Actually,
We're
this is a
gonna
good way
find
of
out.
knowing. Yeah, this is a good way of
Telling
knowing.
me talk about them, they definitely will.
Last but not least,
Yes.
people are loving the Transformers nostalgia
Yes.
in the new Bumblebee trailer.
Yes.
I have no idea about this stuff because I didn't watch the Transformers show. I
did.
I know.
I was so excited. I saw the new trailer and I was like, yes!
So it has these old characters called Shockwave and
at his little face.
Soundwave,
Look at his little
and
face.
also the return of Optimus.
Look at him
You're
there,
really
like,
creeping me
yeah.
out.
Sorry.
I used
Yeah.
to see you filled with joy. It's strange.
That's what's wrong.
Yeah.
I really liked that. I was so happy. Like, it was
Gorgeous
really...
trailer.
Yeah, it was like... you know, yeah, they have like the old looking Transformers from the 80s and all that kind of thing. And just the fact that the direction that they're taking with it, I think, is really kind of leaning into that Steven Spielberg, Amblin kind of.
That's how Joy heard Ladybird.
Ladybird, yeah. Like that whole kind of buzz, like it's really leaning into it, and I think that's what Transformers needs.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I mean, the way that Michael Bay approached it was just put as many explosions as I can and as much product
For
placement.
4 films.
For 5
films.
5 films.
Yeah.
5 films, like, do you know what I mean? Now look, at the time that was just the zeitgeist, you know, that kind of way, because he was coming off the back of like Armageddon and The Rock and all these kind of things, and he was just the guy to give it to. But yeah, I think Travis Knight is the guy to do this. I think he has the right mentality behind it. I think the fact that he can create this kind of character-driven, but also as well as the fact that
imbue it with heart.
Exactly, imbue it with actually some kind of personality, because that was the thing that the Transformers all had. They all had individual personalities. Like Bumblebee was like the kind of the childlike guy, and Starscream was I know you're looking at me, but Starscream,
so cute.
no, but Starscream was the one that like turned into a jet, and he was like this really mean guy who was always trying to backstab people. And then you have Optimus Prime, who was like the hero, and he was the guy that talked like this.
Did he do the voice in the
He did in the original one, yeah. Peter Cullen, he was like, Autobots roll out, and he was, you know, just it got that real kind of sense of optimism, I guess. Just there was, it's like
Optimistic
Prime.
But that was it. But like that was it. Like you go back and watch the 80s one, and they were really like optimistic. And you have to remember, like this was like 1986, 87. This was the height of the Cold War. Yet there were these like robots running around.
Was it?
Yeah, Ronald
Reagan, yeah.
Well, it's a height of Ronald Reagan. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think Gorbachev was chilling out at that point. I don't know.
But it was just, it was like the height of like, you know,
I'm not that old. Yeah.
Right, but it was the height. It was like the height of like Cold War apocalypse, kind of. Oh my God, there's going to be World War III, and these robots were running around trying to save the planet. Like, so it just kind of tapped into that. I think. I'm very excited about Bumblebee. If you can't already tell.
Sounds like it was of its time.
Do you know what is? Do you know what's? You know what's pulling Brian around, and I could see it on his Twitter, is that Joker movie with Joaquin Phoenix. It's pulling you around. I knew it was.
Little by little.
I'm really excited for it.
I am as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, little by little. Little by little.
Todd Phillips is doing really, really well with the kind of like teasers he's been dropping and everything. Like, I think he's getting people properly excited for it. I think all of those
teasers just seem to have this added density with Joaquin Phoenix playing the Joker, and there's no bells and whistles. It's just him
stripped back.
That's exactly it. It just seems like it's really stripped back.
And that's, I mean,
that's all you need, really. And that, I think that's what is going to make this different to what we've seen before, because you really need to do something radically different with the Joker at this point, because I mean, Jack Nicholson did such an incredible job, Heath Ledger did just such an incredible job, Jared Leto, not so much, but I mean, they've all been kind of distinct interpretations still, you know, like how do you do something new? And like Brian has been arguing, there is that added element of, okay, we know where he's actually coming from now, you know, which I know you're saying, oh, that ruins it, but I disagree. I think that it's just like, you know, to add another kind of layer to that and everything. So I mean, he's the perfect actor for it because he's so talented.
Yeah. I'm really, it's slowly but surely, with like that little camera test thing they did, I thought was very
so cool.
It was so cool.
Yeah, and even the makeup, the fact that, like you said, it's the whole pared back nature of it, you know, it's raw.
Yeah.
Raw. Okay, revisit me.
The Hangover. I watched this last night, and
because they've added all the movies to Netflix now.
Yeah,
I think the trilogy.
1, 2, and 3. Do you know, it's a perfect example of pushing your luck. Is the Hangover trilogy. No, genuinely, it is the perfect example of like, you've got a really good idea, it's a nice, smart, tight little film, you know, it has no kind of extraneating circumstances on it, it's just literally them trying to retrace their steps, but then you try spin that off into 2 other movies, forget about it, like it just doesn't work. Like
well, I think the issue with the sequels is they're both kind of straight up the same thing, just different places. It's not broke down faces. And I think Todd Phillips just took the check, which is fair enough.
Completely, they all took the check.
There's a little connection there.
Todd
Phillips,
I mean, that's it. Like, I mean, they all took the check. Like, I mean, Bradley Cooper, you look at the second and third one, like, he is just phoning it in.
Well, I think he was never seen as a movie star or somebody with movie star potential, and then he very much had that in The Hangover.
Yeah.
He was the standout.
That's what I'm saying. It
Yeah.
really was for him and Zach Galifianakis. It was absolutely star-making roles for both of them. Because Zach Galifianakis up until that point was known, he was known for some of his stand-up, and even his stand-up was
it's abstract almost.
Exactly, very kind of almost anti-comedy kind of thing. Like he hung around with Tim Heidecker and Eric Warheim, who were this kind of comedy duo called Tim and Eric, and had this show called Tim and Eric, awesome show, great job. And it was really weird, like just really, really weird comedy. Like, and Bradley Cooper, I mean, I suppose the biggest thing he'd done before that was like maybe
Wedding Crashers.
Yeah, he'd been in a lot of things as either the douchey friend or the best friend. He was in Alias for years. He was like third lead in Alias, fourth lead in Alias. Michael Vartan was the romantic lead in that, and he played Sydney's friend.
Yeah,
so Sydney Barstow. God bless you, Jennifer
Loved
Garner.
Alias.
And now Bradley Cooper hasn't he been nominated for something like 3 Oscars, maybe 2, but I think he's been nominated for a silly number at this point.
Yeah, the David O. Russell connection there has always led to him, and I think from what we're hearing, everything with Stars Born. Okay, so how was it revisiting it? How was it watching this again? Like, I mean, because I remember going to the press screening way back when I did the junket. The guys,
they flew in for it.
The guys flew in for the junket for its opening weekend in the US, and Up, I think, was in its second weekend, and Up was already making an insane amount of money. And to the point where Warner Brothers hadn't even put on cameras or anything, like, which is quite expensive to put on in Dublin, because I think they knew it was going to do well. I didn't think they realised how well. So the guys found out while they were sitting with me that it had opened at number 1 at the American box office.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think they remember me forever.
But it's true, no, they like it
So
did silly
friends.
money. Like it really did silly money. It was like 437 million worldwide. Against a budget of like 35 million, and it was R-rated as well, and that, like, for making just under $500 million for an R-rated comedy at that time,
inflation, whatever. What was it, 10 years ago?
10 years ago, nearly, yeah. At that time, completely unheard of. Like, it just, you would not hear of it. Like, but yeah, I mean, it still holds up. It's still very, very funny. Like, even if you have seen the movie 3-4 times, you still get a lot of laughs. Like the bit with Rob Riggle when he brings them into the cop shop and then fires them with the he gets the kids with the tasers. Like, I mean, that's just
apparently
classic.
Bradley Cooper was getting ball for being shot with a taser.
For real?
Yeah, he was like, I'll do it. Yep.
I mean, I don't know if that would make it funnier, but he was very good in it. Like, I mean, that whole scene is very, very good. Heather Graham as well, hilarious in it. I mean, I know she's only got a couple of scenes in it, but like her kind of, you can see she was kind of leaning on her character on Boogie Nights, Roller Girl. She was kind of leaning on that kind of ditziness.
I don't think she has a huge amount of range. So
yeah, I suppose. Yeah, she was kind of. She always kind of plays variations of that.
Yeah.
But Bradley Cooper. I mean, perfect as the kind of laconic, charming leader of the group. Mike Tyson cameo in it, hilarious. The Tiger, very, very funny.
But do tigers dream?
With the song, like it's just, and like Ed Helms as well. Like, I mean, the whole interaction he has with his girlfriend is just, that cracks me up. Like the bit at the end where it's like, I want to do what I want to do, and like you confront. It's very, very funny. So
we all know some couple like that.
Oh, me?
No, I said we all know.
Oh God,
couple like that.
Jesus, completely, but no, I think it definitely holds up. I think the fact that 2 sequels came after it that were very, very poor diminishes it somewhat. I think if it was one and done, people would be talking about this.
Because he never went back and did another Old School. Old School didn't make that kind of money, but Old School was a hit. It was a big hit. Launched, Vince Vaughn as a comedic actor, Will Ferrell, like really, and it's. I love Old School. It's such a brilliant comedy. And you know what, actually, I was watching an interview with Tom Green on a Sam and Jim show on YouTube, and talking about Road Trip and how fun Road Trip is, with Sean William Scott just coming off Stifler, I think, for the first time, and just still playing that abrasive asshole, and Tom Green just being off the wall, just playing this kind of nuts character, and how fun that film was as well. Todd Phillips is a very good director at what he does, and this is why, I mean, the Joker's like slightly different forever, and it hasn't worked from sometimes either. His last movie with Miles Teller and Jonah Hill wasn't great, but there's always something interesting in his films, I think.
Yeah, I always, actually, funny you say that about War Dogs, because I always felt that, like, with that, when I was watching that movie, it was like, oh, he's basically doing what Adam McKay did, as in known for doing comedy, and then pivoting to these kind of real life dramedies. Obviously, what Adam McKay did with The Big Short, and it worked for him, but it didn't work for War Dogs. But yeah, no, I mean, like, you look at, like, Starsky and Hutch is a gorgeous movie. Like, you go back and watch that movie. Like, it's really shot really, really well. It's
Are you
shot...
talking about the Ben Stiller one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, that was crap.
I know,
I
but
liked it.
it looks,
I
it
thought
looks
that was
really
fun.
like what I mean by that is that it looks like it was shot in the 70s, like Todd Phillips, and it's very subtle as well. It's not over the top.
I don't know. I only watched it the once when it came out, and I just thought it was so unfunny.
Really, I thought
Yeah,
it was
I got a
sorry.
few laughs over.
I got a few laughs out of it, and I love the fact that Todd Phillips always uses the Dan band. You know that
Yeah,
guy?
I love the Dan band.
Right?
I cannot hear Total Eclipse of the Heart without thinking of the Dan band.
But he has this band that he uses in every single one of his comedies.
Oh.
Would you
Okay.
Would you hire them if you got married?
110%. Are you kidding me? Get him to do the candy shop. I take it to the candy shop.
He'd probably get married just if he could
Just
book them.
to hire the Dan band.
Yeah.
I would get married just to hire the Dan band. And I hate marriage. I hate the convention of marriage. Would do it just to get the Dan
I know.
band.
That's why I said you would do it for them.
There you go. There you go. So yeah, revisit it. How do you like them apples, huh?
Did you just mic drop me?
Yeah.
Did you just mic the
If I could pick this up and drop it, I would. But I don't want to hurt Charlotte listening there. So.
You almost like swiped my ear there. I don't know if you
It's
realised.
so aggressive, Brian. So aggressive. Okay, well, that's it for this week. Brian mic dropped. I'm done.
The mic has been
That's
dropped.
it. The mic has been dropped. The mic has been dropped.
What's that next
What's
week?
that next
Brian?
week, Brian?
A Star is Born, and
Can we do a
I say?
Can we do a super cut of Brian? Like, and every week he's forgotten what's out next week. It's his job.
it's A Star is Born, and
Will I say?
Yeah, you just say it.
Venom
Venom.
and Johnny English Strikes Again.
I knew
which
that.
will have interviews for the latter too.
Yeah. So I also spoke to Tom Hardy and Riz Ahmed. And that should be live when this show is live. It's going out early, and then it's going to be on the Delves channel as well. And so just look on entertainment.ie. Sound guy, really sound guys.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Although I did nearly get stuck in London, D. I did nearly get stuck in
no,
London.
it's so scary
And,
when that happens, isn't
and,
it? You're just like, I'll never get home, even though it's like across the
You
pond.
know, I mean, there was a storm, and it did take the plane took off in a storm. Now, bear in mind, I was doing this junket because I had kind of a slight connection with Tom Hardy. We have a mutual friend, and Brian asked me to, so I was covering it for Brian. I was cursing you so much sitting in Heathrow.
I could feel it.
When
I could feel
when
it.
I thought the flight might get cancelled, I was like, daft.
I could feel it. I could actually just feel your hatred crossing the Irish Sea and just burning my ears the entire time. Yeah, I knew. Yeah, I was like, every time it was like, and because I saw you as well, you kept tweeting Aer Lingus about the flight when it was getting cancelled. I was like, holy crap, it's 6:00 in the evening and he's still there. I was like,
Yeah.
oh God. I was like, he is gonna kill me tomorrow. He is gonna murder me tomorrow. And then he didn't turn up the day after. You didn't turn up until like about 1:00 in the afternoon. It was like, great, okay, hopefully he's
No, I
forgotten
did.
about
I was doing an interview. I had to be here early the next morning because we had Pete Tong.
Oh yeah, that's right.
For the Delve, like and subscribe. Pete Tong came in, so he was coming in that morning, and he was the same. He gotten stuck on a flight coming over from LA. And you know what the worst thing is?
Go on.
Do you know what the worst thing is that when you land and they don't
Did
bring the
people
thing
clap?
over. No, nobody clapped. Everybody was just like, ugh. When they don't bring the, and it's because Pete Tong was like, I was like, Pete Tong seems a little tired, and he's like, yeah, I flew in from LA at 5:30, and legendary DJ, and he said, oh, we had to sit there for an hour and a half before they opened the door on the plane. So that was the worst bit, because you just want to get off the plane. But I mean, everybody was under strain. I felt super bad for the air hostesses and the pilot and stuff, because I can only imagine, because the planes literally aren't built to go through that kind of weather. They're just not. Yeah. I'll take my chances though. Every time a plane takes off, I've already kind of been, I had a good run.
You're always kind of like that.
Everybody's freaking out with the.
That's awfully cynical.
Yeah, no, I'm just like, sure, look, we go down. Hopefully,
Be
we land
fatal-
on somebody I don't like.
Yeah, be fatalist about it. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I get that.
I'm looking forward to next week, because I actually do want to see A Star Is Born. I really do want to see that. So hopefully, if there's an evening screening or something, we can get to it. So that's it for this week. Thanks to Charlotte Reid in production. Hopefully, producer Dave will hear him again at some point.
He's down in Cork at the minute.
He's down in Cork, like at the Lee Miller testimonial, which is deadly. I would have loved to have gone to that. It was on in the afternoon, so he really wanted to go to it. So yeah, producer Dave will be back next week. But thanks to Charlotte for putting everything together as always. See you next week.